This is your friend Max here from Learn the Price section. Um, Today I want to discuss a topic which a lot of people are not sure how to do, and I personally also struggled when I started in this industry. It is simply the most fundamental concept in trading, and that's drawing the support and resistance. Okay, and then understanding which direction you are in, whether you are a buyer or you are a seller. Okay, so this is very important, guys, because there are two types of support and resistance in the market. One is static support and resistance, and one is dynamic support and resistance. But today, what I want to cover with you guys is simply a static support and resistance. In front of me, I have a Euro Canadian dollar chart, and I have a 4-hour chart in front of me. What I want to show with you is some of the basic concepts as to how do we define whether the trend is in seller's control or whether the trend is in buyer's control. Okay, because this is very important for you to understand. If you are able to understand this concept of which side of the market you want to be in, you will be able to understand how to pick the trades and which direction you want to pick the trades on. Okay, so I'm taking EuroCAD, and let's get started. Okay, so from here, I'm just going to draw one line here, guys, and then from here back, we are not going to consider. Okay, when you start looking at a chart, you have to pick a reference point, like somewhere in the back, and then from there you start understanding, and then from there you start drawing your support and resistance, and then you come to the present day, present time, and then you understand, okay, well, you went that far, you started drawing support resistance, buyer, seller, buyer, seller, buyer, seller, buyer, seller, and then you come today, and then you figure out, okay, whether I'm in a seller's category or whether I'm in a buyer's category. Okay, so as we can see, that from here the trend is down. Okay, the market is coming down. So how do we define whether we are in a seller's category or we're in a buyer's category? Now, if you can see, to simply draw a support and resistance, you do a few things. Okay, the market comes down, retraces, and then comes down. Okay, that is one fundamental concept. So this set of lines is your resistance 1, and then your resistance 2. Okay, so if the market retraces, okay, it can come as high as this point. For example, in a downtrend, okay, you mark these hook points in a trend, and the market can either come and reflect from here, or it can come back and reflect from here. As long as it does not breach this point and actually make a higher high above this line, you are still in the seller's category. Okay, I will explain to you one more time. If you are in a downtrend, you're making a lower low, you're making a lower high, you're making a lower low, you're making a lower high, then you start drawing your support, and then your second resistance is right here. Now this is a lower high. Okay, so you figured it out that, okay, market came down, and then if the market breaches this line, that does not mean that your downtrend has ended. Okay, so it is still valid. If it comes here and reflects, that is still valid. That means you're still in the seller's category. Okay, but if for any reason you do not reflect from here, but you go past this and then come back here and then go it, that means the downtrend that was there before has ended. Okay, so now you have a new trend, which is your uptrend. Okay, so that becomes your new support. That becomes your new the past support or the new support in the new uptrend. Okay, so I hope you understand this concept. So using this concept, I'm going to draw support and resistance on this line, and then you will understand very clearly where the market is and how the market is moving. Okay, so we have a downtrend in place. Okay, so how do we draw a line? So as I said, you have to make a lower low, lower high, lower low, and lower high. Okay, so how do you define a lower low? Okay, lower low is when you have a hook point. Hook point is, for example, market comes down, okay, made low, and then comes back up. As you can see right here, I'm just going to zoom in for a bit right here for you guys. Okay, so as you can see, there was this body right here, pin bar, inside bar, inside bar, inside bar, and then it came out and then came back. So that is a hook point. Okay, so that means from here to here is your hook point. Okay, so you draw your support. Okay, so I'm just going to draw the support right here. That's the low, and that's the high. Okay, so as you can see, we were talking that how the support resistance, they are respected time and again. So as you can see right here, the market came here and it touched the past support, past resistance right here. Okay, so let's go further. So market comes down, comes back up, and then comes down, and then it goes sideways, sideways, sideways. There's no hook point. It comes down, goes sideways, sideways, sideways. Okay, here is the catch. If this is a low and this low is lower than this low, that means you have a hook in place. That means this downtrend, it came down here, it made a new lower low, and then retraced back up. So that's a new high. Okay, so we have a new lower low and new lower high in place. Okay, but these two lines, they're still valid. Okay, they haven't been breached. So market came down, came back up, okay, and then came down, and then came back up, and then it came down. Okay, and then came back up, and then came down. So I'm just drawing these levels for you to understand. Okay, so if we have this in chart, let's see how we can move this. So your first point is going to be right here. Okay, so that's the next low, and that's the recent lower high, which is right here. So that means if the market wants to retrace back, it can come here and it can come up till here. As long as it doesn't breach this and goes here, we are still in a seller's territory. Okay, so as you can see, we came here, we tested this area. So I'm just and then what happened? It bounced from here, and then it did not make a lower low. That means it came down, just kind of briefly went and came up, but it did not make a lower low. I'm just going to clean this up to make it more clear. So this, and then we have this, and then market held below this, bounced where here, came back where, right here, which is still below this line, came down where, to this area. Okay, tries to go past it, it could not breach and make a new lower low. Like that means that below this line it did not make a lower low. So that means this line is still valid. Okay, so what do we have here? It comes back here, and then it comes down here. Okay, and then over here it tries to go sideways, and then it comes and boom. Okay, over here you have a new low now. Okay, so that means from here it bounced, came up, and there you go. So that hook was created from here. As you can see, it made a new low and then it come back up. So what we're going to do is, because this is a new hook point, okay, and that's the last high and this is the last low, so we're going to make this, and this is, and if this is the last low, set of last lows, because the market kind of hovered around here for a bit on this support level. So, and then over here it breached, held, and then came down. Okay, so that means, just one more time, breached, came back, came, and then held below it, and then came down. So that means this line now becomes your new support. Okay, so we're going to move this lower line over here, which is the last low. Okay, so we're going to move this lower line between this last low, because this is the last hook point that was created, and which is the last high on this hook point. Last hook point is this right here. Okay, so you have this, and then you have your, sorry, my bad. So if you have your last low right here, comes back, comes down, and then comes back up. So my bad. So this is your correct hook point. Okay, so that means this is your last low from here. So you move your line past this right here. Okay, and that's your last high point. Okay, and as you can see, the market came back down, but it did not, it made a lower low. We all know that this was the last high, but like I said, as long as the market doesn't go past it and then makes a high, like makes a support around this, like a new hook point, this line is still valid. Like this line is still, you're still in the seller's category right here. So this line, as you can see, the market comes back up and it tests and then comes down, tests, comes down, goes up, and then comes down. Now this is a spike. That does not mean that it has made a new high, because it went up and then it comes down. So that's a false break. So that doesn't mean that you made a new high. Okay, market can spike up and come down. That's absolutely fine. Over here too, market, spiked up and then come down. So that's fine too, because over here what it do, it did not make a lower low. Okay, so we have double touch, triple touch down right here, but we are still in the seller's category. That means we're still selling. Okay, comes down. Okay, and did it create a new hook point? No, it did not create a hook point. So this was the last low. It even breached this low right here. So that means your new low is this right here. Okay, and this is your new high. This is the last high. So these two lines is the now last resistance points and the support points. This line and this line. So market comes down, comes back up. Okay, tries to pause here for a bit. That's fine, and then it comes back here to this line right here. Comes back up. So it did not breach this. Okay, comes back up around this area, comes down, comes back up, hovers, pause here for a bit, this area, boom, boom, and boom. You see, it tried to go past it and then wanted to break this line and go long, but seller still pushed it back. Okay, so that means as long as we are below this line right here, we are still in the seller's category. This line has not been breached. So over here, it did not breach. It goes up and comes down. That's fine. Over here, it goes up and comes down. That's fine. So we are still in the seller's category. go further. Okay, now market comes down and it comes back to where? Over here, right here. So as long as the line does not, comes down and then holds and then comes down, so this is the last support. Okay, but the lines that before this, the hook point, like I said, was like that. This is what's happening. So the last low is still these two lines right here, this line and this line right here. So that's what's happening. So the market's coming down, hovering, comes back up, comes down, hovering. Okay, so this line and this line is still valid. All right, now let's go further. Okay, so what happens here? Market comes back up, okay, and it's still holding below this line. Okay, we're just going to make our support line right here, which is the last low, which is just for the sake of simplicity. We're just going to make this a support line, and we're not going to call this anything, but we're just going to make it a different color so that we know it's the support line. But we know that the real lines are this and this. So market again comes back, finds a resistance, comes down. Okay, comes down, bounces around this, bounces around this, bounces around this, not sure, comes down, and then what happened here? Comes down. Now, so it has breached this low right here, as you can see. So that means this it has created a new low. Okay, so that's interesting now. So what happens? Because it breached this low, so what is the last hook point? Is this one right here. Okay, it comes down. Okay, and actually, if you look carefully, it did not even breach it, because what happened? It comes down, went sideways. It actually created a small hook right here. So yeah, there is a hook point. So it comes down, comes back, and then comes down, comes back, and then, so yeah, it has breached this line. So the last high is this, and the last low is this. So this is your new lower low, and this is your new lower high. Okay, so we're gonna move these lines over here, right here. Okay, and we're gonna remove this line right here. Okay, so as you can see, market comes back up. Okay, comes back up, and again, so it hasn't passed this. Okay, comes here, hovers, comes here, hovers. So as long as it's below this line, we're still in seller's territory, like I said. And over here is finally we are a buyer now, because it breached this line, the last resistance, and now it's gone up. Now from here, instead of you understanding that where the market is in the seller's control, from here, when this line is breached right here, when this line is breached from here, now you are a buyer. Okay, so when you're a buyer, you mark that point. Okay, this is the buying point. So what you do is that I'm just gonna, okay, so what do? You mark the new low. So that's your new low. Okay, so that's the new low for you being a buyer. Okay, and what's the next hook point it created? It created a hook point around here. Okay, so this is that goes up, the market comes down, and then goes up, and then comes down. So that's the last hook point right here. Okay, there you go. That's the last hook point. So that means anything above this line and above this line, now we are a buyer. Okay, so let's see how the market moves now. So market moves up, creates a new hook point and goes and then holds above it. So that means it's a new hook point here. So that means your new resistance is right here, and this is the new hook point it has created for us. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move this line here, and actually that line we should move it here, and this is the last low. Okay, so that means if the market comes, you see it touched right here exactly, because this is the last low, hook point. It comes and touch here and then goes, okay, and creates a new hook point right here and then goes up. So that means as long as the market doesn't breach this and these two lines, we're still a buyer. Okay, so what happened here? Over here it created a new hook point and it goes up and it comes down. So that means this, when it comes up and comes down, so that it hasn't made a new higher high. It hasn't made a higher high like that. So this hook point is the last hook point. Okay, so the market is actually kind of hovering around this area now. Okay, so but the last level what we had, and it hasn't even made a higher high. We're still under this, above these lines, so we're still a buyer. Okay, so it comes down here, goes up, okay, and then it has started to make a new high, and over here it is a breach point. Okay, so now we know that it has breached even this high and it has crossed beyond it, so this becomes a new level. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move our point from here to the new low, sorry, to this point right here, and we're going to move that to this hook point. So what market does, it goes up, comes down, find the support here, goes up, goes sideways, and it has created a hook point right here. So that means our next level is this guy right here, sorry, right here, opening price. So if the market is above these two lines, that means if it comes and it finds a support here, we are still in a buyer's territory. Okay, but what happened here? It breached this low, so we mark this point. So now after this point, okay, so after this point, because it breached this one, we are in a seller's territory. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to mark our different hook points now. So the last hook point was this was the last low, and this was the last high. So anything below this is all seller's territory. So as you can see, the market comes down, and as you can see, it comes down and comes back. Okay, and by the way, it can either respect this one or it can respect a next relevant level. Okay, so instead of coming up here and respecting, it's actually respecting this level right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move our price line over here. Okay, oops. Okay, so we're going to move our price line over here. So what happens here? Over here, a market comes and retests this level, still sellers. Comes down, okay, makes a new hook point, comes down, and then holds below that hook point. Okay, so what happens? Since it holds below that hook point, so that means over here is your new relevant level it has created in the market. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these lines from here to this level. and we're going to move this line to this level. Okay, so that means below this line and this line we are seller. So comes down, comes back up, comes down, snap back up. So no lower low, just a flooring. Comes down and over here we breached it. So that means now from here we are buyer again. So from this line onwards. So we start with a new level altogether. So that means your new level is going to be this low, and your last high is going to be this high or this high, whatever is appropriate. Actually what happens, market is respecting this level. So it has come back here and then it has made a new lower low, you know, and then you just go from here, you respect this, it has again gone up, made a new, and then kind of hovered around. So what we're going to do is we're going to move our lines here, and this is the last low. So that means that anything above this is all buyer's territory. And over here you can see it even breached, went sideways, and then went up and then held above this. So that means that it has held above this level. So that means your lines will move over here, and this is going to be the new low. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move this to new hook point, which is right here. Now we're going to move this to last high, which is right here. I hope you understand how I'm moving the lines, because all I'm doing is I'm marking the last hook point before everything happens. It went sideways and then boom, it held above it. So this is the last hook point. As you can see, market comes up, goes up, and then comes down, finds a support here. Like I said, if it doesn't breach this, we are still in a buyer's territory, and it comes up and then boom, you're still buyer. So that's how you draw your support and resistance and identify whether you want to be a buyer or whether you want to be a seller. I hope you guys understand this simple concept. You will not find this concept anywhere on the internet. A lot of people will talk about how to draw support and resistance, but this is the true correct way of drawing support and resistance. And in the later video, I will also explain to you how to place your stop loss using these levels. Because whether you place your stop loss, for example, you want to take this trade. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in and I'll explain you for a second. Let's say we zoom into this level. Okay, let's say you want to go long on this one. Okay, and you decided that you know, you want to go long on this, and how do you do it? And let's say you decided on this pin bar that you want to be a long. Okay, and how do you decide that where is going to be your last stop loss? Where's going to be stop loss is you have to define the last hook point. Okay, and you have to find the low of that hook point or the opening price of that hook point. Okay, so over here the last hook point is this right here. As you can see, it made a high. Okay, and this made a lower low. So that this low is lower than this. So that means this is the last hook point. Market then came sideways, goes up, comes up, and comes down. So if you want to go long on this, okay, so you have to put your stop loss below this pin bars, which is right here. Okay, so if you want to go long, this is going to be a stop loss, because that's your last opening price, sorry, the opening price before this breach happened. So that's going to be your stop loss. Okay, and that's going to be your entry position, and that's going to be your risk. Okay, and then whatever the target you want to assume will be your target. Okay, so I hope you understand this concept of how to put the stop loss and where to put the stop loss. So let's say if you would have put your entry right here, put your stop loss right here, you would have easily made 2 times the reward, or actually even 3 times the reward. Okay, so I hope you guys understand how to use dynamic support and resistance. static support and resistance, and identify the levels, and then basically using those levels you can just take trades. Okay, and all you have to do at that point is simply take the trade in the direction of the trend you want to go in. If you want to go, you want to be a buyer, you just take the direction. Let's say over here you identify you want to be a buyer, you want to take only buys. You want to take only buys. Okay, you want to take only buys. Okay, you want to take only buys. So these are the 4 locations I just marked for you. Okay, over here, over here. Okay, well this U did not work, so it comes back and it forms another U, which is that price action signal. This is actually a beautiful price action signal. What you do for this one is that you simply wait for the 50% of that, which is right here, and then put your stop loss below the low, and then you made your another 3 times the reward. So that means if you put your $500 on the risk, you made your $1,500 reward right here. Okay, so I hope you guys understand how to draw support and resistance. This is extremely powerful strategy. Not strategy, concept, but a lot of people don't understand how to draw support and resistance. Well guys, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and promote my channel. And also, in the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter. I have a Twitter account where I give live feedback on the live trades that are happening throughout the week. And every day, if you're in North America, you can catch my tweets during North American time frame. Or if not, then you can look at my daily tweets and then see. I generally try to do the end of the day tweet as well. And if you're, let's say, in Australia, waking up, you can have a look at my tweet and say whether the signal makes sense or not. I really highly encourage that, you don't have to really pick what I'm saying you. That okay, you just go blindly trade it. Please have your own experience. Okay, trade with your own experience. I'm just giving you what I feel is right, but I might be wrong. Okay, so what I want you to do is just trade with your own experience. But if you want to follow and you want to get some more openness, some more clarity, and if you feel that you want to even discuss something on the Twitter, just throw me a comment on the Twitter. And then if you want to check out what my Twitter account is, see below this link, you will see a Twitter account and you can follow that. I'm also in the process of creating my own website, and then over there I will post all the signals as and then they happen. And what I recommend is that you join that website. It's a free of cost, and what you can do is you can discuss with people all the different pairs as they're happening. You can discuss 4-hour charts, you can discuss daily charts, or you can discuss even 1-hour chart. I will not accept anything below 1 hour, but because my price action system works only for daily, weekly, 4-hour, and sometimes 1 hour. Okay, so I highly encourage you can, once I have website launch, I will post a link below the videos as well, and then you can join my forum. You can see articles, you can see some trading strategies, you can join the forum where I post signal, you can have some discussion with people, and then exchange ideas, and exchange ideas with me, exchange ideas with the people, and it's all free of cost, guys. My idea is that I want to encourage people to learn price action signal, and I find this is a beautiful art, and I think that every person who is serious to growing their career should learn this thing. Okay, I hope you guys enjoy this trading week, and actually all the weeks ahead whenever you're looking at this video. But subscribe to my channel, and feel free to email me if you have any questions. Take care, happy trading.